we're explicitly saying that we're going to diminish the role of winning in competition so that everyone can be included and so that nobody's feelings get hurt. What's going on? It's another great day to win, to be competitive, to compete. I want you to think about the last time that you lost. Hopefully it still stings a little bit. You're a little upset. Man, I should have did this. I could have did that. I could have won. Unfortunately, we live in a society that has diminished the very role of competition and what it means to win, to be victorious. And that's the very nature of what it means to be a man, to compete, to be better, to progress, to innovate. That's our nature, to see who can climb the highest up the tree, who can run the fastest, who can build the best shelter. It's this intrinsic nature to be the best. And we see a society handing out participation trophies at will. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want anybody to feel left out. So we include everybody. Just show up and you get a golden star. I read an article the other day about this state and the school systems doing away with physical tests and PE altogether because some kids were getting their feelings hurt because they were too overweight to compete. They couldn't run. They weren't healthy enough. And their parents were even advocating for, let's do away with this. My kid gets his feelings upset. He's just overweight. He can't do all that. We're teaching our kids that it's okay to be fat, lazy, and unhealthy. We're stripping away this very nature to compete, to win, to be better. Life is not fair. We have this hierarchical system where you have to be competent. You have to be the best in order to enjoy the rewards. You don't just get to show up to work fat, lazy, clothes just all messed up, hair disheveled, and just in this manner of, yeah, I deserve $100,000 just because, well, I'm here. No, when we strip away that nature to compete, to be better, to win, we see a collapse of society. We are not only implicitly saying that it's okay to lose, that it's okay to fail, we're explicitly saying that we're going to diminish the role of winning in competition so that everyone can be included and so that nobody's feelings get hurt. Is that a true representation of what life is? I'm a competitive person, always have been, always been involved in sports. And this reminds me of when I was younger in baseball. We played on a competitive team and we went to all these different tournaments. And we were in coach pitch at that time, and we went to a tournament that was out of state, and we're expecting to go play a coach pitch tournament. When we show up, they've changed the rules. They said, we are going to use a tee. If you want, teams are allowed to bat off a tee because we're concerned about kids' feelings getting hurt if they strike out. And we were like, what the hell? And we had our parents that taught us this competitive edge to win, and they were like, what the hell? So we ended up playing the tournament. We did not use tees. We played coach pitch. We win the tournament, and the trophy for first place had a kid batting off of a tee. And I remember us all ripping that tee off, breaking the tee off the trophy, because we were here to play coach pitch. We're a coach pitch team. We're not babies. We won off with the tee. And I think we need to foster that healthy competitive edge to win, to be better, to rise the ranks. We don't want to be lower leveled men despising life, rejecting life because we haven't put in the work to get there. And that's what we're teaching kids today. We haven't told them no. We haven't said, you know what? You don't get a trophy just for showing up. You don't get your way just because you feel like it. We're handing out golden stars, and we're bringing about this culture that's like a bucket full of crabs that are pulling down anyone that tries to escape the matrix, that tries to set themselves apart. As men, we're called to set ourselves apart. It's that survival of the fittest. It's that survival instinct to be the baddest man on the block. That's our nature. And if we don't have that nature, maybe it's not particular to. I'm a competitive person, grew up in sports, and you say, that's just not natural for me. You need to begin to foster that and to cultivate that, because again, we can easily recognize that society's built on that raising the bar. Whoever can lift it higher, exceed expectations, those are the people that we value. Those are the people that are rewarded. So that's the little things, man. When you go to the store to get groceries, challenge yourself. Can I get everything that I need in 10 minutes or less? Back in the car, started back home. Challenge yourself when you're at the gym, man. You're on the treadmill. Someone else steps up. They go a little higher speed. Up your level. They're on their 15 minutes. You do 15 minutes in 5 seconds. start challenging ourselves in those little areas, and that's going to carry over into other aspects, man. Family life, community life, friend life, work life. We begin to challenge ourselves and cultivate that winning competitive spirit. We see a weakening society. We see an entitled society. I truly believe it's because we've brought about this weakening of men. We've stolen men's edge to be competitive, to be virile, to be energetic, to be leaders, to be assertive. We've diminished that, pushed them to the side, and we see a weakening of culture. We can understand this in fatherless homes where the men are absent. Those children are more apt to be delinquents, to go to prison, to get involved in drugs and all these other issues. We can recognize that in fatherless homes, but we're not so quick to represent that or recognize that in a fatherless society. A weak men cultivate a weak society, and weak societies are susceptible not only to external attacks, but internal. All this chaos, all this destruction, we don't have order because everybody's expecting a participation trophy because we've been taught just show up and you'll get rewarded. We don't get to enjoy the privilege without meeting the standard. As men, that should be our anthem. What am I going to do to compete? What am I going to do to get better? How can I challenge myself to rise the ranks? Nobody's coming to hand you a trophy in life. Nobody's going to say, here's the $100,000 job just because you showed up. No one's going to say, here's your badass body just because you think about going to the gym. The privilege, the reward, that all takes action. It requires that competitive edge to say, I'm going to push myself. We see a weakening society because nobody's pushing themselves. Nobody wants their feelings hurt. So we lowered the bar so that everybody can be included. That's bullshit. That's not life. Life doesn't lower the bar. Sorry to hurt your feelings, but life happens. Life is hard. How can we get harder? As men, we have to have that competitive edge. We have to look at the world and say, how can I be better? How can I make it better? What can I do to be the best that I can be? That's our nature. When we strip that away, we strip away the very virility that is men. Why do we see a lot of depressed, dopamine rage, looking at porn, gaming, this and that, searching for the new shiny object? Because we've relinquished that very nature to be competitive, to win, to dominate. As men, we should always have a conquest that we're seeking to conquer. Set a goal out there to become better. Challenge yourself to compete, to win. Life is about winning. Never accept the mentality of a loser. I love you guys. I respect you guys. Challenge yourself to compete. Go be a winner.